everyone, I'm Alejandra Hernandez, and this week we'll be talking LaTeX. LaTeX is a typesetting software. It allows writers to focus just on their work while LaTeX handles all of the formatting, the aesthetic, and everything else. The style of LaTeX papers is extremely recognizable, so you have probably seen um, very many papers that are written in LaTeX. Now, LaTeX can be run locally in your computer with any code editor or maybe with a special LaTeX program. But honestly, um, starting with these logo configurations can be really hard. So for simplicity, I recommend using online software like Overleaf. Overleaf is a really neat website since all it takes is making a free account and you can get straight into writing without having to worry about managing packages, installing stuff, or anything else. In LaTeX, document structure is divided into two big categories, the preamble and the body. In the preamble, you tell the software what you expect from it, what type of document you're writing, the specifications you need. And then in the body is where you actually type your information, all of your research, and your work. Now, there are some commands that we're going to be using in every document. There are many, many commands and many, many packages that expand the capacity of LaTeX, but this is most of what you will always be using. First, backslash document class article specifies that you are writing, well, an article, since you can also do presentations and other types of text. Use package allows you to call packages like graphics for inserting images, Babel for changing languages, are many, many, many more packages. There's a package for almost any use case that you can have. Now, other commands like author, date, and title give some information of yourself and your paper that you can add. Here we have a little example. This is a homework assignment I did a while back. Here we have our document class as article. We also have graphics, Babel, and other math symbol packages. Here we have our title, my name, the date, and then for actually starting our document, we use begin document and close with end document. You can also see I have here begin homework, begin answer, and end homework and answer. For printing this information, we use the command make title. And you can see here we have the LaTeX code on the left and a finished PDF document on the right that looks really cute. This is the general overleaf layout. You can also add other files here so that you can upload images and other stuff. Now, the coolest and most important feature, in my opinion, of LaTeX is its ability to add really easily complex math equations. If you've ever tried adding an equation in Microsoft Word, it sucks like terribly. But we can really easily add math that looks really pretty. Here I have another example. This is Obsidian for note taking. But these equations are in a LaTeX format. You can also use LaTeX style equations in Notion. For example, here we have an inline equation that starts with this dollar sign and ends with the dollar sign. There's also commands for different symbols like pi. And right under we have these integrals. We have a command for our trigonometric equations, our math symbol like implies. For example, over here we have some deltas. And these can look really scary, really complicated, but there's plenty of guides and tutorials. You literally just tell what symbol do you want it to be underneath or over it. It's really, really simple once you get the hang of it. Now, another important part of any paper that you can write is your bibliography. It's extremely, extremely important that you always cite your sources and mention the work of people that is the base of your own work. It's extremely important to give credit, and eventually, hopefully, you will also be cited in other people's papers. So always keep in mind your bibliography. In LaTeX, you can use packages like BibTeX or BibLaTeX. Here, I'll show you. I'm in this little homework assignment. I'm using, I think, BibLaTeX. And BibLaTeX allows you to insert an external .bib file, and then I can cite any source. In this case, I only have one. You give a little name to the source so that you can call for it in your code. And then you just give it some information of, well, your source. You can also specify what type of style of bibliography, APA, Chicago. In this case, I just went for author year. And then here's my citation, and then I add print bibliography for it to be printed at the bottom of my file. Now, we have all this formatting stuff figured out for us thanks to LaTeX, but now we have to think about the actual things we want to put into our paper. If you have read some papers, which I think you have for homework, you have probably already seen that papers follow roughly the same structure, starting with an abstract, your introduction, where you talk about previous research and explain why your work is important, the actual content of the paper, which can be experimental resource, a thesis of a theoretical paper, the meat of your work, so to say. Finally, a conclusion and your bibliography. Now, paper writing is really different for everyone. It's a really personal process, a creative process. So I cannot tell you exactly how to do it and exactly how to write, but I do have some tips that work for me. I recommend always keeping your sources ready since before you start writing so that you can easily get into your introduction and your contents, whichever they may be. And then leave the abstract. It might be the first part you read, but it should be the last part that you write, since it will summarize everything, including your results are due and your conclusion. So just do it last. Never forget to cite other people, and just keep in mind that your paper, you're writing it so that someone else can read it. It's you're trying to communicate your findings, your thoughts. So just try to write in a way that's clear and that conveys what you're trying to say. Now, for homework, you will have to complete the Overleaf Novice Learning Path and submit your certificate and write a little short paper about whatever physics subject you like. You can even do it about some of the things you've learned in this course. Make sure to include some equations and tables. The learning path will teach you how to do tables. It doesn't have to be super complex, like a journal grade paper. Just I want you to practice your structure and your LaTeX ability. So that will be all from me today. Thank you. In the homework file, you will have my contact information if you have any questions. And I hope you keep enjoying the course.
All right. Any questions on the first presentation? Paper writing, overleaf. Well, if not, let's move on to the second part, personal website and writing a CV. And the presenter is Oscar. See. One moment to find it. Apologize.
We are going to talk about two things that can have a huge impact on your career: your CV and your personal website. Whether you are a student, a new graduate, applying for a master's degree, or searching for your first job, these two tools can help you stand out from other candidates. In this session, I will show you how to build a professional CV and create a personal website that supports your professional identity. Let me look at our roadmap. The first part focuses on CVs. We will discuss what a CV is, why it matters, different CV formats, the most important sections, common mistakes, and useful tools. In the second part, we will move to personal websites. We will explore why they matter, what sections should be included, how to host a website for free, and how artificial intelligence can help you build one faster. The goal is simple: to leave this session knowing exactly what to do next. What is a CV? Many people think a CV is simply a document listing education and experience, but it is much more than that. Your CV is often the first interaction between you and recruiter, hiring manager, professor, or scholarship committee. Recruiters may spend only a few seconds reviewing a CV, so it must communicate value quickly and clearly. A good CV tells a story. It shows who you are, what you have done, and what you can contribute. There is no single CV format that works for everyone. The chronological CV is the traditional format and works best when you have a clear career history. The functional CV focuses on skills rather than experience and can be useful for career changers or students with limited experience. The hybrid CV combines both approaches. For most students, and early career professionals, the hybrid format is usually the best choice because it balances skills and experience. If you are considering graduate school, research positions, or an academic career, you will likely need an academic CV. Unlike a standard job CV, it includes research activities, publications, conference presentations, laboratory work, and academic achievements. One important thing I want to highlight is ORCID. ORCID acts as a permanent digital identifier for researchers and helps universities, journals, and funding agencies identify your work correctly. Creating an ORCID profile takes only a few minutes and can be very valuable for your future academic career. Students often ask, what should I put on my CV if I don't have work experience? Use projects, coursework, volunteer activities, student clubs, competitions, and certifications. For internship applications, this experience can be just as valuable as formal employment. For job applications, employers usually expect measurable achievements. Whenever possible, use numbers to show impact and results. Now, let's look at the building blocks of a strong CV. Start with a professional header containing your name and contact information. Then include a short professional summary that explains who you are and what you are aiming for. After that, include education, experience, projects, and skills. For experience descriptions, I strongly recommend using the STAR framework because it helps demonstrate impact rather than simply listing responsibilities. For many students, the project section may be more important than the work experience section. Projects demonstrate initiative and practical skills. When describing projects, explain the problem, the tools you used, and the outcome. For technical skills, focus on tools you can confidently use. The same rule applies to certificates. A few relevant certificates are more valuable than a long list of unrelated ones. Many students struggle with describing research projects effectively. A simple structure can help. Identify your role, institution, supervisor, research goal, and outcome. The outcome might be a publication, presentation, poster, dataset, or software project. This structure helps others quickly understand the value of your work. Let's talk about some common mistakes. Making the CV too long, spelling errors, peer formatting, and sending the same CV everywhere can reduce your chances. Customizing your CV takes time, but it often improves results significantly. Remember, every line on your CV should have a clear purpose. Creating a professional CV has never been easier. Canva is excellent for modern visual designs. Overlap is very popular in academic communities because it produces highly professional documents. Europass is useful for European applications. Google Docs and Microsoft Word are simple and accessible. The most important factor is not the software, it's the quality of the content. Now, let's look at a real CV example together. When reviewing a CV, I usually focus on three key areas. First, the header. In this example, the candidate Duygu Erişken provides a clear name, contact information, and important professional links such as LinkedIn, ORCID, Google Scholar, GitHub, and Hugging Face. This makes it easy for recruiters, researchers, and hiring managers to learn more about the candidate. Second, the summary section. Notice that summary is specific and achievement-oriented. Instead of using generic phrases like hardworking or team player, it highlights research interests, project experience, publications, and leadership roles. This immediately gives the reader a better understanding of the candidate's profile. Third, notice the difference between claims and evidence. Many CVs contain general statements like passionate about AI or hardworking team player. This CV supports those claims with evidence such as projects, publications, and leadership experience. Evidence always creates a strong impression than adjectives. The key takeaway is simple. Make your CV clear, specific, and evidence-based. Overleaf is a popular platform, especially in academia. Unlike Canva or Word, Overleaf is based on LaTeX, which is a document preparation system widely used by researchers, graduate students, and academics around the world. One of its biggest advantages is that you can create highly professional and well-structured CVs with minimal effort using ready-made templates. Let me show you a quick example. Here on the left, we can see the source code, and on the right, we can see the generated CV. For example, I changed the name from Jon Snow to Özkan Günalp. And this with data scientists. Then click recompile. The CV is automatically updated. This demonstrates one of Overleaf's key strengths. Almost everything can be customized directly from the code. You can modify personal information, education, experience, skills, publications, and many other sections while keeping a clean and professional layout. Now, let's move to the second part of the presentation. What's a personal website? Think of your CV as a summary and your website as the complete story. A website allows you to showcase projects, publications, articles, code repositories, and research outputs in much greater detail. In today's digital world, having a personal website can significantly improve your visibility. A personal website benefits almost everyone. Students can showcase projects and improve internship applications. Professionals can build their personal brand and become easier to discover online. Researchers can share publications and academic work. Opportunities often come from being discoverable, and a website helps people find your work more easily. A good personal website doesn't need to be complicated. Start with a homepage introducing yourself, add an About section, a downloadable CV, a project section, and contact information. If you enjoy writing, consider adding a blog. Simple websites are often more effective than overly complex ones. Many beginners are confused by domain names and hosting. A domain is your website address. Hosting is where your website flies live. Do I need to buy a domain and hosting? I think no, not to start. Most modern platforms handle the technical details automatically, making it easier than ever to launch a website. You can find some free websites on the left. Start with a free website and focus on building content first. Once you begin applying for jobs, internships, or graduate programs, consider purchasing a personal domain for a more professional image. Looking at real examples is one of the best ways to learn. Students often begin with a simple homepage and a few projects. Researchers add publications and research activities. Experienced professionals expand their websites over time. Your website should grow as your career grows. Successful websites often share the same core elements: a clear name, a short introduction, visible projects or achievements, and an easy way to contact owner. Clarity and simplicity usually matter more than flashy designs. There are many ways to create a website today. GitHub Pages is excellent for technical users. Google Sites is beginner friendly. Card works well for simple portfolios. WordPress is powerful for blogs. Primer and Wix provide modern visual website builders. Choose the platform that best matches your goals. AI can help generate content, suggest layouts, and even build complete websites. However, AI should be an assistant, not the author of your identity. Always review and personalize AI generated content so your website reflects your own voice. Now, let's look at a real personal website example. This website belongs to Rana İrem Turhan, a data systems and AI engineer. It's a great example of how a modern personal website can be used to present a professional identity online. The first thing we notice is a clear personal brand. Instead of a long introduction, the homepage immediately communicates what she does with a simple and memorable message. I build reliable pipelines, then I make them intelligent. This quickly tells visitors about her focus on data systems and artificial intelligence. The website also highlights important achievements and credentials, including industry programs, certifications, competition results, conference presentations, and community leadership activities. Rather than simply listing skills, it provides evidence of experience and involvements. Another strong point is the clean structure. Visitors can easily navigate to sections such as systems, philosophy, stack, credentials, presence. This helps recruiters, researchers, and collaborators quickly find the information they need. For example, we click here. We can find some links and we can learn about Rana İrem Turhan deeply. For example, we click CV. We can download her CV easily. Yes, a recruiter can learn much more from a well-designed website than from a single page CV. So you don't need a website this advanced on your first day. Start simple, add your projects, your CV, and your contact information. As your career grows, your website can grow with you. Let's quickly review what we covered today. We explored different types of CVs, key sections, common mistakes, and usable tools. We discussed why personal websites matter and how they complement your CV. We also looked at website structures, hosting options, and AI powered solutions. Most importantly, you now have a roadmap you can start using immediately. As we come to the end of this presentation, I would like to leave you with one simple message. Take 2 small actions. First, create or update your CV using Overleaf. If you are interested in research, create your ORCID profile as well. Second, launch a simple personal website. It doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to exist. Remember, opportunities often come to people who are visible and prepared. Your CV helps you get noticed, and your website helps you showcase your work in greater detail. Thank you very much for your attention today. I wish you success in your academic and professional journey. Thank you and go build something.